Well, good morning. Hope you're doing well. You may see my setup if you're watching online is a little bit different today because I'm having some technical issues with my Wi-Fi in the office. So I hope this works. We'll see. Right now, I'm looking at my computer. Everything seems to be recording and connecting. My phone seems to be recording pretty well right now. So knock on wood, everything's going. If it crashes, I'll let you know. Sorry for I'm probably more anxious about this than you are. You don't even notice what's going on, which is the way I like it. So sorry if I seem distracted today, trying to check to make sure we're good over there. Okay, I see that we're good there. Okay, life is good. Today we're gonna be looking at Samson and his marriage. So today we're gonna be looking at Judges 14. There's 20 verses. We're gonna read the whole thing. I want you to get a snapshot of our guy Samson. Remember we said yesterday Samson was to be set apart. And he is a Nazarite, and what that means to talk about holiness and things like that. But we're gonna see that our guy he has his. Let's just read today, and you'll see what I mean when I say Samson is an interesting and often problematic character in Scripture. Once Samson went down to Timnah, and at Timnah he saw a Philistine woman. Then he came up. Then he came up and told his father and mother, I saw a Philistine woman at Timnah. Now get her for me as my wife. But his father and mother said to him, Is there not a woman among your kin, or among all of our people, that you must go and take a wife from the uncircumcised Philistines? But Samson said to his father, Get her for me, because she pleases me. Right there, that phrase right there is going to have a lot to do with Samson. His father and mother did not know that this was from the Lord. So we're going to also see in Judges and in Samson's story, we're going to see that God has a way of interweaving human failures and frailties with his plan. So Samson is not going to equate himself well in this story or in the stories to come. But in Samson's life, we're going to see a little bit of a Romans 8:28 thing where even though he doesn't quite get it right, God is at work in that as well. At the time, Philistines had dominion over Israel. Then Samson went down with his father and mother to Timnah. When he came to the vineyards of Timnah, suddenly a young lion roared at him. The Spirit of the Lord rushed on him, and he tore the lion apart barehanded, as one might tear apart a kid. But he did not tell his father or mother what he had done. Then he went down and talked to the woman, and she pleased Samson. After a while, he returned to marry her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. There was a swarm of bees in the body of the lion, and honey, and he scraped it into his hands, and went on eating it as he went. When he came to his father and mother, he gave some to them, and they ate it. But he did not tell that he had taken the honey from the carcass of a lion. Okay, we're going to unpack little things that happen here. So, our boy, our boy Samson, he's walking through this. A lion rushes at him. Says the Spirit of the Lord comes upon him, and he takes the lion and rips him in half. That's how strong our guy is. So that's okay. That's pretty impressive. But he did not tell his father or mother what he had done. Okay, kind of keeping secrets, but then he went down to talk with the woman, and she pleased Samson. After a while, he returned to marry her. He turned aside to see the carcass of the lion, and there was one of bees and honey. So he scraped it out with his hands, and he ate it. And then he gives it to his parents, and they ate it. But he did not tell that he had taken the honey from the carcass of the lion. The law is very clear about touching things that are dead and how things are to be killed. The concept of kosher, how blood is to be drained very carefully from the animals that are killed. You see that over and over again. The importance of blood, the importance of life, the importance of sacrifice. As we, for those of us in our modern ears, when we read about the sacrificial system, it seems barbaric. But even in that system, they treated the life of the animal with great respect. You are not to take death lightly, whether it be human or animal. So you should be treating these things with respect. So here comes Samson. What does he do? He kills a lion, which, he rushed at him, he killed him. That's what you do. There were bees inside the carcass. Gross. He scrapes out the honey, and can you see him walking down the street with his hand full of honeycomb, I guess, just eating from it. And then he gets to his parents and he gives it to them. This is unclean. This is, we see it with him first marrying the Philistine woman. He is being controlled by his passions. Here, this is just reckless and uncontrolled and undisciplined and selfish and prideful and selfish. It's just, and he is now unclean. He's exposed his family to uncleanliness. He's disrespected the animal. He's disrespected life. Samson is just living out of control, living a life full of unrestrained desire. Remember when we read Galatians about works of the flesh, how they're unrestrained? Samson is completely unrestrained here, living with recklessness. And not only that, so it's enough for him, but it's also his parents. His father went down to the woman, and Samson made a feast there as the young men were accustomed to do. When the people saw him, he brought 30 companions to be with him. Samson said to them, "Now let me put a riddle to you. If you can explain it to me within the 7 days of the feast and find out, then I will give you 30 linen garments and 30 festival garments. But if you cannot explain it to me, then you shall give me 30 linen garments and 30 festival garments." So they said, "Ask your riddle. Let us hear it." And he said to them, "Out of the eater came something to eat, and out of strong came something sweet. But for 3 days they could not explain the riddle. Then on the fourth day they said to Samson's wife, "Coax your husband to explain the riddle to us, or we will burn you and your father's house with fire." Once again, people love to set folks on fire. Remember yesterday we had that, 2 days ago we had that as well. "Have you invited him here to impoverish us?" So Samson's wife wept before him, saying, "You hate me. You do not really love me. You have asked a riddle of my people, but you have not explained it to me." He said to her, "Look, how I have not told my father or my mother. Why should I tell you?" She wept before him the 7 days that the feast lasted. And because she nagged him on the seventh day, he told her. Then she explained the riddle to her people. The men of the town said to him on the seventh day before the sun went down, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Then he said to them, "Have you not? If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have found out my riddle." Then the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon him, and he went down to Ascalon. He killed 30 men of the town, took their spoil, and gave the festival garments to those who had explained the riddle. In hot anger, he went back to his father's house. And Samson's wife was given to his companion, who had been his best man. So now we see he tells his wife, she tells them, and what does he do? He just, in hot anger, he went back to his father's house. Now, the Lord used him for vengeance. He went and brought vengeance. But we see Samson here living reckless. Samson is living only for his desires, living only for what he wants, living only for his, not even his needs, his wants. God's going to use Samson. We're going to see God use Samson in some interesting and powerful ways. We're going to see we already see God using Samson here as an instrument of his wrath and an instrument of justice. But Samson's going to also ultimately be destroyed by his pride, ultimately be destroyed by his stomach, be destroyed by his compulsions, be destroyed by his desires, by his recklessness. If we live only for ourselves, if we live only for what we want, if we live only for our desires and for ourselves, then in time it will consume us, and in time it will destroy us. So who are you living for today, friends? Are you living your life to only get what you want out of it? Only being led by your compulsions, your desires? Or are you living a life of self-control, seeking to serve others, seeking to serve God, seeking to lay down your life for something better? Samson was living reckless, living out of control, living for himself. And it's going to destroy him in time. So be careful. Be careful who you're living for. Well, friends, you can get everything you want. You can get everything you want. But if you're not living for what you want, if you're not living for what is best, Stop living for something beyond yourself. It's all for naught. What did Jesus tell us? What does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? If we're living only for our desires and not for something bigger than us, then friends, we will lose our soul. Be careful. What are you living for today? Hey, thanks for being with us. Tomorrow we're going to pick up with some more of Samson's story. It's quite the tale. See you in the morning.